What's up, mother? This video is sponsored by Legendz. The link is going to be on the description. And guess what? We have another UFC Apex fight night. I know that sucks, but I know most of you guys are degenerate gamblers that gonna watch every UFC card. So if you are a degenerate gambler that gonna bet, use Legendz. The link is in my description. And please leave the like button, subscribe and share. And I will be watching the fucking fight, even if it is in Apex, okay? I'm not gonna work on the whole card because that's too much and I will get tired. But we will start from the main card, okay? Erceg Anders versus Christian Leroy Duncan. Erceg Anders used to be a football player, my brother. I don't even know. I would say soccer, but it's not soccer. It's football player. 17-8. He didn't fight like a lot in UFC. I think he has like 7-7 or some stuff like that. So he's not competing a lot. And he's fighting Chris Leroy Duncan. Chris Leroy Duncan is a very good striker. He lost to Gregory Rodriguez and Armand Petrosian. Armand Petrosian is not even in UFC anymore. But Leroy Duncan is a dynamic striker, like spinning back kicks, spinning back fists, flying knee, all that stuff. And I think he'll beat Erceg Anders because sometimes Erceg Anders, he's not good everywhere, you know? He can fight on the striking, he can defend takedowns, and he can survive on the ground, but he's not a specialist and he's a little bit older right now. So I think Christian Leroy Duncan has the edge on the fight. So I think will be a decision for Christian Leroy Duncan. Next fight of the card, Miles Jones versus Jean Matsumoto. Jean Matsumoto, very young prospect from Brazil. He lost his last fight to Robbie Fuentes, but he's 16-1. Just lost to a ranked guy that was very good, and he took the fight on short notice. Jean Matsumoto, very good grappler, very good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, knows a little bit of kickboxing and Muay Thai. Miles Jones is a wrestler. He's a wrestler. He's not very tall for the division, 5-3. I think Jean Matsumoto will win. I think he will put the pace. I think he will be the best striker. Not the best striker. Miles Jones is not a good striker either, but I think he will be a little bit better than Miles Jones, and he will try to wrestle the whole fight. I think it's going to be a boring fight. It's going to be a wrestler that don't shoot for takedowns and a jiu-jitsu guy that gonna try to put him on the cage and wrestle the wrestler, if you can understand what I say, okay? If not, fuck you. Let's fucking go. Subscribe and like button, my brother. So, in the end of the day, I think Jean Matsumoto, very good prospect. I think he will beat Miles Jones. Next fight of the card, we have André Fili versus Christian Rodriguez. André Fili, veteran of the game, has more than 30 fights just on the UFC. He's a striker. He's a veteran. He's not a very good boxer, but he's good with the kicks. And he's fight Christian Rodriguez. And you have to remember, Christian Rodriguez is 12-3 in UFC, and he beat Raul Rosa Jr. He beat the other guy that won last time, Austin Bosch, but he lost to Melquizael Costa and to Julian Rosa. You cannot trust a motherfucker that loses to Julian Rosa, but he's a prospect killer. Every time the UFC puts him against a prospect, he beats the prospect, and then he loses to somebody else. I don't know, man. I just think Christian Rodriguez is a better grappler. He's not a better striker, but he's a better grappler. And I think he's a better at MMA in general. I think he can strike against André Fili, but I think he can put him on the ground. So I'm going with Christian Rodriguez, but I'm not 100% sure because Christian Rodriguez just do well against young prospects. And André Fili could be everything but a young prospect. He's like me, an old motherfucker with a lot of fights in UFC. But that should be a fun fight. Next fight of the card, Yasmin Lucindo versus Angela Hill. Angela Hill, I think she's 40 right now, and she beat Kathleen Souza on her last fight, a girl from Brazil. She's a striker. She's not gonna shoot for the takedowns on this fight. She's 40. She's very old for the division. And the other hand, Yasmin Lucindo is 23. She's good at striking, good at jiu-jitsu, 4-2 in UFC. Just lost to Amanda Lemos and to Yasmin on her debut. So I think Lucindo will beat Angela Hill on that fight. If you're betting on the women's fight, bet on decision. That's probably gonna hit, okay? And we have the co-main event, Steve Erceg versus Ozzy Osbourne. Steve Erceg is one of the funniest motherfucker that I ever seen, my brother. He used to work on the office. I think his name was Michael Scott or some shit like that. And then he went to pursue a career as MMA fighter. And he was doing pretty well, my brother. He fought for the belt against Pantoja. But since then, 3 losses in a row. Man, this guy is funny because he went to the UFC, only 1 loss. He was going off several wins, you know. He won on his debut, lost the second fight of his career, and then a lot of fights. And then he went to the UFC and beat 3 okay guys. David Drovak, Alessandro Costa, and Mike Chanel. If you remember, that hook against Chanel was crazy. And then he fought with Pantoja on Rio. But since then, he lost to Pantoja, Kai Kara France, Brandon Moreno. And he'll be fighting Odi Osbourne. 13-8, 33 years old. And I think that's a fight made for Steve Erceg to win, you know. Odi is not coming from a good retrospect, you know. He lost 3 of the last 4 fights. And against guys that are not that good. Jafael Filho and Ronaldo Rodrigues. Ronaldo Rodrigues, he's been losing fights now and then. So he's 5-6 in UFC. He's not a wrestler. He's a striker. He's an MMA fighter, but mostly a striker. And I think Erceg will beat him. I don't know if it's easy or not, but Erceg will beat him probably in a decision. And we have the last fight of the night, my brother. Roman Dolidze, the guy that somebody chained on the Apex, probably the now I chain him on the Apex, brother. He just fight on the Apex card. He's doing pretty well, I guess. I don't like to watch much his fights. He's 37, a little bit older, brother. Older than the money Moicano, that means you're fucking really old. He's been a good streak, you know. He beat Anthony Smith, Kevin Holland, and Vettori. The Vettori fight was boring. I remember Vettori was asking for a rematch, but no way UFC gonna do that, you know. 3 boring fights, that's not good. And he's fighting fluffy Anthony Hernandez. I like to watch the motherfucker. He doesn't look like an athlete, you know. He doesn't do his diet, but motherfucker has the gas tank of a crazy man. 31 years old, and he's 8-2 in UFC. And you have to take into consideration that he finished Rodolfo Vieira on the 2nd round by guillotine. That's crazy. And he's coming in a very good streak right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 win streak. And he beat Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen is very good. He just beat Vettori. Good striker. Good on the ground. Good on the takedowns and the takedown defense. And Fluffy only lost to Marcus Perry. He's not in UFC anymore. And Kevin Holland, knee to the body. He is very susceptible. I don't know how to say that word, my brother, but he eats the body punch. He's not good defending the body punch, so that could play a factor on the fight. Roman Dolidze just punch his fucking belly all the time and making him get tired. But usually Anthony Hernandez don't get tired. You remember on his fight against Michel Pereira, he knocked him out on the 5th round. The first one, he was taking a lot of damage, but then he went through. He's very good, not only with the takedown, but to do chain wrestling. He keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. And that's not an easy fight for him. I think Dolidze could stop his takedowns. But man, I just wish Anthony Hernandez beats Roman Dolidze. But who cares, my brother? Nobody fucking cares. This fucking UFC Apex. And I ask you, if you got this far, I myself could not get this far, brother. I just did the video because of you guys. But if you get this far, please like, subscribe, and share.